Hey, how's it going? So today well, not today, because this is about the third attempt here to do this, but let's just call it this time. Uh-oh. Whoopsie. Okay, this okay. You can stop doing that now. You really can. Okay, good. All right, so my plan every time I started to do this was to talk about something from my last video, parables. And then I tried to do it a couple of times and it was just wrong, so I trashed it. And in there somewhere, over a period of about 3 days or so, I guess, that's what I was doing, like trying to do it and then not finding it acceptable, so not doing it. And then last night, well, no, Saturday, I think it was Saturday or Thursday, I don't remember the exact day because I was so stunned by it that I was just stunned to inactivity. I did not know what to do. Still don't. Probably, well, okay. I had gone outside to get some soil because I was potting something and I wanted to put some compost in there, and I've had my outdoor compost sitting out there, and like what's in there has just been liquefying over the winter. And so I went to put some in this new little thing I was planting so it could have some nutrients, blah, 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 gardening stuff. And I saw that the lid was like open a little bit. And that's weird because it has a snap and it also lives underneath my plastic supermarket cheapo deck chair. And I've been living here since 2004 in the same apartment, so there was no reason to really move stuff around. But this day, Thursday or Saturday in the past there, just happened. I went to pull some goop out of that container to add to this little pot, and it was partially open, and I didn't really think about it. But like I figured some kid was curious as to what was in there and took a look and then like didn't close the lid all the way. So I pull it over and open it and stick my little garden tool in there, and I'm like poking something that's pretty hard, and I'm like, that ain't right. There should not be anything that hard in there. And it felt like there's paper in there, and I mean, maybe I put some degradable parchment paper in there, but over the winter that should have really softened way down, and this felt like newspaper. And then so I look in there and it's just black goop, and as far as I can remember, that's what it always looks like after it's just been melting in there. But it's vegetable scraps. So I look closer and it looks like there's a little freaking face, like there's a nose. It looked like a rat, okay? And I had poked around in there, and it felt like, oh shoot, that could be like a little rat body. And I don't know about you, it was like if that would have happened to you, but I was horrified because that does not signal like nice intent. And but I just let it go because what can I do? I didn't see anything, and I have no idea who would do that. I just said, okay, well, that happened. Well, what can I do? So then, yesterday at 1:30 in the morning, because my sleep schedule is all kooky these days, it's basically upside down. I'm definitely asleep, except for right now, when people are usually awake. But I've been waking up at this time of day, which is, I don't know, it was like after 3 when I started doing this time. So Anyway, I woke up at like whatever it was, 1 in the morning, and I let the cat in, and I realized that my chair was gone and the compost bin was tipped over. So I had to like get out there and like pick it up because it's just full of liquid and still has that carcass in it, I guess, because I just haven't even dealt with that yet. But I found out my chair was gone, so I thought, well, it's been windy and stormy, and I didn't get out yesterday and get my mail or exercise or anything, so it ain't raining now. I guess I'll go out there and do that real quick. So I went out there and I looked for my chair too, because the mailbox is at the front of the complex and I'm all the way at the back, which is why these kinds of things can happen, because nobody can really see what's happening over there, you know, in basically my little backyard. So I'm riding around and I'm looking at all the other places that I can see, because there's upstairs stuff that I can not only not see, nor can I go up there without a struggle. And I'm sure not trying to climb upstairs in the wet at, you know, in the middle of the night. So I don't know, the chair could be upstairs at somebody's place, could be inside somebody's place, but I'm thinking a kid took it, right? Because why would you want a chair that I bought at the supermarket? It's plastic and it's been on my deck so long, it has no shine. I paid like $8 for it. I'm sure they're quite a bit more now. I'm just saying, I went around, you know, just kind of casually looked at the trash dumpsters that had plainly been emptied. So if it got thrown out, I'll never know. I didn't see my chair is my point. So I got my mail and I came back. And here I am. I don't know what to think. And okay, so obviously, I think for anyone, your first reaction, or mine was, why? And then like it made me mad. Like, what did I do to anyone? I have to explain. I don't really like hang out with anybody, neighbors or anyone, because I don't know anybody, and it's not, I don't know, it's just not friendly. So, and I just keep to myself anyway, and I hang out in my apartment and do my thing, and then when I go out, I do my thing. But I'm not like, my thing doesn't do things to other people or their things. I'm not unfriendly, but I find that people just don't make eye contact with me. So I don't know what that tells you, but that tells me that they don't want to make eye contact and possibly initiate conversation. So I just let people talk to me first if they need to, unless there's some kind of reason to do it. There's people that I know, a lot of people move, so I'm not even sure who's gone and who's here still. But there were a lot of people that have kids that would come back and like hang out on my porch, and if I wasn't there, because if I'm there, I'm sitting right next to that little porch in my accustomed chair. So I just don't mess with other people's kids on general principle. I just leave them alone unless they start talking to me, and I'm polite and whatever to everyone. But when they come up on my porch and stuff is walking away in their hands, or they're up there spending time in my area, I tell them like, no, you can't do this, because, and I explain this to them, and I know they don't get the subtleties, but I know when they go back to their parents and complain about it, hopefully they're saying what I said, which is, if your parents saw me on your porch at all for any reason that they were not aware of, they would not want me there. They would be unhappy. They would be mad at me. So I don't want you to come up here and touch my stuff. And I'm not going to do it at your house. And that has made people really angry at me. And I'm not yelling at anybody's kids, but I'm letting them know that I'm not happy they're there when I say it. I'm not like, oh, joy and kisses. I'm like, look, you know, you don't live here. You don't keep your stuff here. You don't sleep here. Your food is not here. And the other thing I said, like, I make it clear to them, like, it's not okay to just be on other people's, like, land or, like, area. you know? And I tell them, I'm surprised your parent hasn't told you this, because I want the parent to know what happened. So the people take offense. They don't want you saying stuff to their kids, even if I think I'm right to tell them to stay off my property, the part of the place that I pay rent for, even though it's outside. It's not down on the grass. It's, it's got my stuff on it. It's demonstrably not a place to play. There is actually a place to play that has like climbing stuff and kid stuff. But that is me venting, I guess, my frustration that they get mad at me for like defending my same thing that they would do if they were in my place. And if your child talks to me like they're a little adult, if you've taught them that, then that's what they're going to get back. And that's true with any interaction I have with anyone, but those are the kind of reasons where I know people don't want me talking to their kids. Even and they will sneak back here and like talk to me and ask me a bunch of questions and blah blah blah, and I'm not trying to, I'm polite. Only one of them comes in my house, and will bring one friend because that's all I'll allow. But I know her mother, and it's just like, I'm just saying, I don't think I gave people a reason to be stealing my stuff and leaving rats in my compost. But I also had to think, once I was done being upset about it, that, I guess you needed the chair more than you thought I did, which I use a wheelchair when I'm out there. But I have that chair because people actually do visit me on occasion, and I would like to be able to offer a place for them to sit, and now I don't have that. And so it's not an expensive thing, but now if I buy another one, I don't really want to put it out there. I have like chairs in here for people to sit on. They're not outside chairs. I suppose I could drag stuff back and forth. It's not really that big of a deal, but the idea that someone felt the need to do that also has been on my mind, because because I don't know who they are or their motivations. I can't begin to meet them where they are about it. Like, I feel like I made it clear. I feel like I didn't do anything to make this happen. Although you never know when a penny is going to drop somewhere, and you may not know what caused that to happen, because you're part of a whole fabric of events that affect each other, and we don't always see how, where, and why, and when the effect is going to affect you. So it may be something that I have done recently, or it may be something that I had to do with years ago, and circumstances just all met in the place that made it happen in the way that ended up with a dead rodent in a piece of my property. I don't know. I feel like words work good for me, So I feel like a kid took the chair, but the rodent, I don't know. That seems like a little bit more critical thought of a more mature variety, not like in a mature adult way, but more mature than a child, because there's not really teenagers living here right now. Well, not that there's not really any. There aren't any right now. Unless they're like in their 19 and 20s age, which there are a couple of them. But I don't think it's them. They have jobs and stuff. I don't know. It just kind of been on my mind, and I wanna help someone that feels the need to do that not feel so badly that they have to like that's their best response to whatever's going on with them, it's not good. uh, I don't know if this is gonna go up either. I don't think I'm liking it too much. Like I feel like I'm complaining, but I also feel like I should leave it up because things like this happen to us, and I have certainly gone through the whole gamut of wrong ways to react. Like, I did go looking for my chair because I was just going to take my damn chair back and put it in my house so that it couldn't happen again. I actually did scratch my initials into it. I don't know if it's visible anymore because the whole chair's a scar now. But I mean, I really had to make an adjustment to not get mad. And again, I don't know who did it, so who am I going to go get mad at? Which would require me to do what? Yell at them? Produce my chair now. I know you took it because I feel like you did, because you looked at me like you were mad one day. I'm just using an example because that didn't happen, but it could be something like that where you looked at somebody one day and you thought they were mad and they weren't even thinking about you, and then maybe I got an expression they didn't like in as a response. And either way, like if you're paying attention to each other on some level, there's a communication happening. And I guess I'm just kind of confused, like this was a malfunction, and who did I have it with? And how can I fix it? How can I help the situation? If not help the person feel better about themselves, can you feel better about me so my stuff doesn't go away? It's not the expense of it. It's you picked me for a reason to do it too. So I would prefer that you just obviously there's something going on with me and whoever it is, and that's what I would like to get to the bottom of, because I'm not going to pretend like my first reaction was not to get mad, because it was. I'm working on not having that, but that's hard. I mean, it's not hard. It's just changing a habit, really, but in a way that is difficult. Ever try to quit smoking? It's not as hard as that. Whoa, am I just all crooked? Of course I am. I'm always crooked. Anyway, I guess, okay, I feel better about this now, so I'll go ahead and let it go online. I'll do the thing and it'll be on the YouTube. Oh, the parables. So really, all I really wanted to say about that more was that to me, it's just always been a way to exercise your compassion muscle, because they're meant to tell you a way to look at something that can apply to you in a different light and not take the darker route of getting mad about stuff, to make you feel what the person in the story is feeling, when the person that the stuff is happening to in the story, the person who's being affected by the events in the story. Like, I understood pretty young, because I got a lot of them in Catholic school. Well, everything was a story to me when I was that young, and I was young. But I always was like, how would I feel if I were that person? You just, I think, automatically do that as a child. And then I guess when we grow up, we get real cynical, and things have happened to us, and I guess we are still maybe comparing what happened to us to something that happened in some story a long time ago, and then electing through free will to react and respond and behave however we see fit. And that's going to be something different for everybody in every situation. So when they happen, for me, I am doing my best to not make something that's not great a worse thing by feeding it a bunch of angry and energy. And I mean, really, if you needed a thing that bad, have it, I guess, you know? Um, that's something I've been having to come to terms with. Oh, now it finally comes out, is I don't like it when people take stuff from me, and I've had things taken, and I just sort of let go of being upset about one because it's gone, it's over, it's out of my hands. And really, I mean, the knowledge that this person took something that didn't belong to them and made profit off of it and knew I was not dead or something, you know, like it would just be free because I was dead. I don't know what this person thought, but I was just like, you know what? Fine, have it. The being upset about it for as long as I had been was making me feel worse than, well, it's like it was something I wasn't using. I hadn't for a long time. I really wanted to like release holding on to it. It's something I created. I don't want to get rid of that, but I wasn't caring about it until I found out that someone like was using it, and when they could have just asked me and didn't. And then you know, it just like became all of this stuff. It's like, why? I'm the only one that cares about this hard. Let it go. And I kind of finally was able to do that. I still sound like I'm upset about it, and I'm sure there's still residue of it because, as I was saying, you can't just, I mean, most people can't, I don't think, just cold turkey stop being one way and turn this other way. You know, all intents aside, stuff takes time. So that helped me be able to just not do what, seriously, my immediate thought still was, lose your mind. But I've learned to like stop, you know, and just give it a minute, let it rest, just see, like, is it really worth getting that upset about? Or if it is, I don't know, go somewhere and be quiet with it. There's no need to like get it all over everybody else when you don't even know what you're really mad at. So I know the parable stuff got lost in there, but I do have a point. I started to feel like this is a parable that I'm living right now. So what am I gonna do? Well, I told you I resisted the impulse to be stupid or negative and dark, and to just say, okay, I mean, if you needed to take it, if you needed to attract my attention, not the greatest kind, by putting something dead in my thing that I want to use to help stuff live with, that's you, that ain't mine. I don't do that kind of thing. People get themselves into their own problems, and I know that, so I'll just leave them to it. And that's another thing that makes it easier to let stuff go. So, oh, I guess I finally made sense of it. Phew. Okay, real quick, follicle focus. I'll just tell you what's going on. I just got out of the bath, and first I took a shower, so my hair, I just didn't do anything, and this is the way it started to dry. Hi. I'm probably gonna do another video later, so I'm not gonna touch it, not gonna do stuff to it. I already like combed out the knots in that, so you're just gonna see how much it's just gonna change because it's just drying and I didn't do anything. I think it's funny. Please share my amusement. Thank you and good night.